Hello everybody. In today's video we have about 15 to 20 apps that we're going to cover. Speech and language apps that help children who have severe or significant speech delays have some tools to help them with their language and their articulation and intelligibility. So it has not been edited in any way. It's just people talking in my son's classroom. You'll hear him in the background. I really wanted just to give it to other parents so that you could possibly find something that might help you and your child. So if you look in the description of the video, you'll see it's bookmarked, so you can jump around to the apps that you want to look at or you want to find out more about. So anyhow, I hope you enjoy it. It's rather long, but you can bounce around to see what might work for you and your kid. Anyhow, have a great day. Thank you.
Square is what I call the no-fail, bring them to the table apps. We don't have any trouble with Xander. He loves to work on it. He has no problem coming to the table. I'm going to skip right over that one. I am going to show you only one in here. He's already done Shape Builder. Loves it. It's a great chill out app for him. Very inexpensive. Probably be nice to put on his iPad. You can build in a lot of language with it. I'm going to go straight to first words. The first thing you're going to notice about it is that it is just a little bit, the format's just a little bit young, but this is an app that they can do in the backseat of the car. They do on their leisure time. Almost 99.9% of my students don't do games anymore. They do this app. So that's why I call it one of the bring them to the table apps. When they see it come up, they love it. They come right here. They're ready to focus in. So a couple minutes of doing this app, and then you can move on to something a little less reinforcing.
So you said they do it by their choice, not
their choice.
Okay.
They prefer this. This is their leisure activity choice. That's why I put it in the first categories.
Perfect.
And it's surprised to me, it's a literacy app. For Jalen and Brenda, the first word's pro because you can pick your targets. I'm going to show you just all words, what it looks like. And, of course, there's an and.
A-N-T.
It's that simple.
A-N-T. Ant.
Of course, probably not a word we want to be teaching them, so that's why the pro version, you can take those out. Jim, you too, sorry. Sly, again, not a word you're going to want to be teaching them. So, I mean, it's not that he'll never learn it. It's just that that's not one of the first words you teach.
Not one of those functional words.
S.
You can also change it to phonetics. So instead of saying the letter name, it can say the letter sound, which is very nice. So again, this is a bring them to the table app, also teaching literacy. I think that's the only one I'm going to hit in the first one because, again, Xander is excellent about coming in and sitting down and getting to work. As far as I know. I don't know if anyone.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Now the next set is our expressive language apps. And if Xander needs an iPad, like I said, I have an extra one with a whole bunch of apps on it. He can come along with us and play it as we're doing it. Xander, you want my iPad?
iPad. Dad.
Yes? Okay.
So Jim, I just want to let you know, I told them I am recording this, so it's recording our voices.
Cool.
It's recording what's on the screen, so we're able to look at it later on. And so what was the name of that app? And you don't have to worry about taking such copious notes. It's all here available too. And I'll upload it to YouTube, so you can get to it
Awesome.
from there.
Thank you.
Okay, now the expressive language apps, or the AAC apps, generally come in 3 categories. We have the grid style, which is traditional. It's the Dynavox and the Prenti ROM keys. It's what we made in the 60s and still available today. So when Proloquo came out, they simply took that design and put it onto an app. And it's great. It's good for kids with, with physical disabilities who don't have the complex communication challenges as a student on a spectrum. They got good attention, they got good auditory processing, so they already have the language, where our kids on the spectrum still need to learn language. It's a little bit difficult to learn language off of a grid style, but they're still good. They make requests. I don't know if you've gotten anything out of anyone else besides just requests, kids on the spectrum through a grid style, but they're pretty difficult. Everything I've read from nonverbal kids And I've done tons of reading and tons of studying our kids who can't talk yet say the pictures are limiting, the icons are limiting. They go as quickly as I can into a text-to-speech. Go ahead.
But, I mean, I do. This isn't. But I do have a non-reader who does fabulous things using eye gaze on a grid system.
Oh, eye gaze?
So, yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. Yeah. No, there's some fabulous things that you can do on the grid system. And they have 10,000 words. So if your child has 10,000 words and usually no auditory processing challenges, it's a great system. The next one is one I wanted to show you because you might want to try it with them or something similar. It's called Aacord. It's brand new and it's smart. So it's similar to a grid system in the fact that you do start out with a sentence starter. And I'm going to choose myself. I put myself in there. And it learns what you might want to say. So, like, Alexander might say very different things than I would say. It will learn him. So the more he chooses basketball, taco, hamburger, swimming, the more they're going to show up. And then you're just going to build your sentence.
I
And there come my choices. So it's
want.
similar to word power. I don't know if you've used word power, but very similar.
So predictive kind of.
A
Okay?
cookie. Please.
And then down here you just say it.
I want a cookie. Please.
And how do you get other options if it's not of the 5 or 6 that are shown there?
You can add options, and you can go into the starters, and where is it? Down here. And you can pick different starters. It's a little bit complicated. You got to kind of know what you're doing. However, once it's set up, it's pretty fabulous. Doesn't have text-to-speech though. So I use this in conjunction with a good text-to-speech because this one's smart, and if they have something to say right away, their choices appear right there in front of them. And as they change and grow, this changes and grows, so it's kind of nice.
Is that a free app?
Oh no, my friend. This one's pretty expensive. It's like in the 150 mark.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, it's very expensive. We have this one, of course. This one is mine. I put Alexander's picture in there a little bit earlier. Just wanted to show you how it works. So we're going to say done. So this is a photo of Alexander, as you can see. Oops.
Photo or video?
No, it's actually a photo. But we'll go back to settings, and he can pick
It's
whoever.
a perfect photo.
He can pick whoever he wants. So I would go and say, Alexander, who would you want to talk like today? He would get to pick a picture.
Or just recognize face and
Shrek. Okay. So
Looks
he
like
likes
Shrek.
Shrek. So we'll put Shrek in there.
they can. The computer knows where the eyes are. And can
Right.
attention.
Right. So now it has a couple built-in vocabularies. We can say the typical things here.
I want.
What program is this?
It's called InnerVoice.
InnerVoice. Oh, there we go. Okay, I just missed it.
That's for just
So we're going to change that. As you can tell, that was probably a boy's voice. We're going to adjust it to an adult voice. Actually closer to giant because it's an ogre. So we're going to start over.
I want an apple.
Okay, now the cool thing about this one is, even though he says I want an apple, he really might want something else. So we put a keyboard very close so they can just touch it. And let's say what he really wanted was this.
I want an apple pie.
So the keyboard and the buttons are really accessible so that he can learn literacy and still get his wants and needs met. It's customizable, text-to-speech, and recorded.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I want a slice of pizza.
Oh, there's one.
Okay.
Wow.
Hey, Alexander, did you see that?
Look at yourself.
Look at right here.
I want a slice of pizza.
That's cool.
Again, the
Wow.
the buttons, the buttons and the keyboard are very yeah. And keyword, not keywords, core words. I've designed this so that core words, we can actually teach core words simply by Let's not do no. I have to know something he doesn't want right now, and I can't do that. But me is a core word. How in the heck do you teach me? I was showing you this the other day. Me is a really difficult word to teach. All core words are basically concept words. However, they're 80% of our vocabulary. We must get core words into their language so that they can build language. So if I go up to Xander and I say something like, hey, Xander, hi. Who's sitting down right now? Me. That's right. He didn't need to touch it. He could already read it because he's literate. And we can do the same thing with this one. Hey, who's standing up? Woo.
You.
You want to say it?
You.
Thank you.
Good job.
And you can do the same thing with mine and yours. Just touch his shirt. Whose shirt is this? Mine. That way he understands when he hears you and me and mine and yours, he has that concept solid. You know, right now he was just reading it. You'd need to work on it for a while. Probably we usually say about a week per core word. So that they really get that concept in solid and he knows what me means. Right now he can see it and read it and say it. Does he really know it? I don't know. He could. Same with yes and no. If I had something I really knew he wanted, a peach maybe, I would put in the core word yes. And I would say, hey, I got a peach. Do you want it? And whether or not he needs to touch it, he can still see it. He'd say yes. Oh, good. Here it is. Oh, here, I have a wet rag. You want me to set this on your hand? You know, no. Show him no. And that way he really gets his yes and no's very strong because I don't believe he has a yes and no right now.
He has some no, I noticed. Yeah,
Good.
he does have that, yeah.
Good.
And occasionally he will say yes.
Okay.
It tends to depend on how it's phrased as well.
Right.
So if it's
And the order that you ask.
Yeah, you know,
Okay.
a picture of a boy. Is that a girl? No. You know,
Okay,
he'll
good.
And he'll let
Good.
you know.
Good.
You are wrong. So I think the understanding is in that. I think it just depends on
Needs a little more
building on
practice.
it, yeah, for how it's phrased, so that it's the global concept.
The-
But
okay.
It's definitely.
Then you would
emerging.
just pick out the areas where he was weak. Maybe
Yeah.
it's the do use or can use or will use. And then just focus on those and say that. I had one young man, bless his heart, I love this little guy. His mom wanted me to teach him to say excuse me. But he just had emerging language. He couldn't even really talk. I'm like, oh my gosh, excuse me. So what I would do is stand in front of the door when I know he wanted to go out, and I would just stand there until he hit the button.
Excuse me.
Oh, okay. Or when he was going down the hall, I would just make myself really big. Excuse me.
Right.
He did learn it. I didn't think I'd ever meet that goal, and I was kind of panicked when Mom wanted that as a goal. I was like, oh, excuse me, I don't know how to teach that. But you can teach those things using the video self-modeling, which is a very powerful technique, or he can talk like Shrek. Doesn't matter, as long as he gets the words out, and he's motivated to use it. He wants to be Shrek, he can be Shrek, because that's going to get his attention. There's another kind. The Aacord and the InnerVoice are unusual. They're one of a kind. However, we do have one called, and I highly recommend this one because it's very flexible. Word Toob. It's about the $10 mark, so it's like a pack of flashcards. Get these flashcards moved, and they're really cool, and they're customizable. Now, the man who made it went and put his family in here, but you can put your family in here, or your friends, or whoever, again, would be motivate Xander. But basically, you're taking these really hard concepts like thank you, because if you took the word away, all you would see is two hands shaking. Well, what does that mean? Hello?
Right.
Could be goodbye. Could be nice to meet you. In this case, it means thank you, and if you actually touch
Thank
it,
you.
you can hear it and see it.
Thank you.
And you can put different examples. Again, very powerful, and it's best practices to show different examples of a concept. So you could take him and, you know, however you want to set it up, whatever situation he needs to say thank you, you can take him around the room and somebody hand him whatever, a cookie, a Lego, a piece of a puzzle, and then he needs to say thank you, thank you, thank you. Pretty soon he's not going to need this. Now the other really cool thing is this little microphone. is an expressive tool. So he can actually sharpen his skills by using that. So we're going to press that. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
So it's kind of a check and balance. So, yes. I think it's catching. Yes.
Yes.
There we go. There's Grandma saying yes. Okay, so as he gets good with his words, microphone's up here, speakers are down here. So if he's going to talk into it, you go to the home button and then on top.
And so all those video clips of the vocabulary, those are all editable.
They're all
Three times fast.
editable. You can eat them all. You can take them out. You can leave them in. I would put personalized things in and leave some things that he doesn't know. That way he's able to sort of connect that everything doesn't revolve around me. Other people say thank you. Other people say yes. And here's me saying it, and here's Dad saying it, and here's brother or whoever saying it. Excellent app. Again, it's so much worth the $10 because it's so much better than any pack of flashcards. You can even put emotions in here. And there's another setting that lets more of a game. It'll say touch yes, touch more. So it's kind of testing you. Do you really know where these are? Very nice one. And that's called Word Toob. The Sing Speaks. Those are kind of fun. And let me show you.
Which one is this?
These are down at the bottom, the very last one, like Seen and Heard.
Okay.
Usually when I connect to schools, it's not a stable connection, and I end up getting kicked out somehow because someone else is on it. So let's see if we can do here. Okay, so see, you can take a picture. You can take a picture of anything in his environment, and then you simply draw the hot boxes. They have them drawn here, here, and here, and then you touch the hot box. So it takes away the whole grid thing.
Michael needs help to build his house.
And you can say whatever you want. This one said Michael needs help to build his house.
I think Jake is building a house too.
Did you get that? So you can take a picture of all these things on the desk, and maybe he come up here and hit the blue one and says, I want to play Legos or something like that. It's just called a scene display, and it puts everything in context. I do it for lunches a lot. I do it when there's a big selection. I'll even do it for like classmates. I'll get all the classmates together, and then he simply has to touch them to hear their names. Family members also. If he's having a hard time remembering or pronouncing family members, you get a family picture, and then he just has to touch them. Doesn't have to be taken here. You can take any family picture, import it in here, and make it talk for you.
You said that was a free?
Tiny Tap is free. You got to be connected to Wi-Fi just to see if it works or not. Because when I was here, we didn't look at every single one. I was focusing mainly on the text-to-speech. I kind of want to see where he was when I realized he was literate. And I'm going to show you predictable, because that would be my choice. All of my students usually use about 2 communication apps. I don't limit them to one. I give them a choice. They usually use a combination usually of InnerVoice and predictable. Predictable is very expensive.
More than 150?
Oh. It's a very powerful app. As you can see, it's got word prediction. And it's a very powerful word prediction. It's not just the next alphabetical word, it's the next logical word. I'm going to show you a sentence that you can save sentences in here. And this is a sentence a little boy wrote who was supposed to be profoundly cognitively delayed because he didn't talk very well. So, of course, he had nothing to say. He couldn't. So we're doing a little project with wax paper, and all the kids were saying, oh, my God, it's thin, it's see-through. It's very light, and this is what this little boy typed out, and I just thought it was so amazing.
Water resistant due to a thin layer of wax.
He typed that.
Wow.
So everyone's mouth dropped, and of course he got his own predictable, and he's been using it ever since. It's just amazing sometimes what our kids are capable of. But I'm just going to type hello. Hello, my name is Lois. Okay, now you see how it remembered, let me back up. It did remember my name, so it is a smart one. As I pushed in the L, my name pops up. It's not a typical name, so it will remember the things he types the most.
It even popped up before you got to Lois.
Right, right. That way it just increases his fluency, because at this point in time we're not trying to teach spelling. We're trying to teach fluency and communication when we're using predictable. When we want to teach spelling, we'll teach spelling separately. We don't want him to get frustrated. We want him to communicate. So we're not going to worry about using word prediction. I know a lot of folks sometimes say, well, he won't learn how to spell. Well, you can teach him spelling too, but just not when he's trying to communicate, because you're going to frustrate him.
Because that would give them the ability to say things a lot quicker.
Correct.
It took him a long time to
Right,
type,
right.
I want eat peach. If you put I, it would have put one. He could have hit that.
Yes.
And then if he was selecting peach all the time, it would pull that up as an option. So he would have been able to tell me something that took him,
Correct.
30 seconds, maybe 5.
And it probably would have had the article up there that he could have hit, so he could
Exactly.
have said, I want to.
And then he
eat
would have
peach."
learned language at the same time. Right?
Correct. And the cool thing about this is it has emojis. And now let's say he's in a good mood and he wants to say, hi, my name is Lois, and he wants to put a little laugh there. So we're going to say it now.
Hello, my name is Lois.
So now he gets to express some emotions. You know, he can be, let's just say hi. And let's put, he can be a Weisenheimer if he wants.
Hi. Oh.
A bored teenager with an attitude,
That's
okay?
his brother.
It's really nice because he can type things and he can send them. He can send them to, he's not ready yet, but social media. He can send them to dad, to mom, to grandma. So he can type out messages and then shoot them to you.
If he has Wi-Fi, obviously, if he's connected to the internet.
Correct, correct. Let me show you the phrases. You can store phrases. So here's his favorite things to say. They're already stored there. And the nice thing is, of course, it's completely customizable. He can put in any picture, any phrase, at home, chatting. He can make lots and lots of phrases, files.
This is
open.
developed in England, I take it?
Correct. How'd you take that?
Because I had favorite spelled with a U. We do not spell favorite with a U.
I think in Canada they do.
Oh, do they?
Do they?
Yeah.
So he can make this entirely his. He can put anything he wants, his own friends, and type it in himself. That way he remembers where they are.
My
So,
best friend.
okay.
So just for example, favorite that had spelled, can you go in and change the spelling of the
Yeah.
word and make it more American?
That's why this one is so expensive.
We
You
want
never
to learn how to
change.
spell. We want to,
I think it's 140, 150. But it's worth it. I mean, if this is your child, because it still gives a picture support. You're not just throwing him out there with text-to-speech. You're actually giving him a little bit of picture support still.
Right.
His own pictures, though. You're not going to want to leave these in.
Right.
Unless he wants them. I mean, it's all about what Xander wants, not what we want for him at this point. And he sits in here and he can talk about his friends, his family. You can put a family one. You can put a Target one. I'm not sure, or whatever his favorite restaurant is, and then the whole menu there. He can do it, though. That's the whole thing, is not for dad or mom to do it and then hand it to him. It's come here, Xander, let's do this. I'm going to show you how. Because eventually we're going to want to build him up to be doing it himself. I don't see any reason why he can't. He's pretty smart, and some things that I was showing him with Jalen, he caught on so quickly.
Right.
So I think he can catch on to a lot of things. Right now he's over there typing, I believe. All right, is he typing, Nicole? Yeah.
So go back.
See what I tell you? They learn to learn. He has a choice of any app he wants, and what is he doing? He's typing.
Right.
I didn't put that on for him.
Right.
Matter of fact, that's a rather hidden one. You have to open an app, and then you have to scroll and find it. So it's just
He
easy.
really likes the silly sentences, which is funny because that one's kind of intense because of the timer. I wish I could turn the timer off because he really likes the clicking and
Right.
buzzers and
Right. You never know. That's the thing. We have all these, and it's like I'm not sure which one he's gonna like. I can guess, but I don't know. You had a question. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Keith.
Go back and show me how he would have got here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So when it opens up here.
You're here.
Okay.
It's going to open up here. Here you have to send it away. Let's press that. So you can send it all these places. Anywhere you want, you can send that. I can send something. He can send something.
Okay.
Let's get out of there. Delete, of course. We all know what that is. And then right here is phrases. So if you touch phrases, there's all his phrases that he's created. There's his chat. Hi, how are you? Have a nice day. How you feeling? And that's where you would build your conversation.
Right.
You would say,
How are you?
and you put an emoji there because I just love doing that. There we go.
My best friend. How are you?
I guess that's a little European too, huh?
Is there any way to change that voice? 'Cause that's not.
Yes, they have, I forget, down here, settings. And you have all this. Again, that's why this is a $150 app, because you can do anything you want. And back it up. There's backup there, so. Or down here, if you're working on some writing skills. Oops, let's get back to keyboard. What did I do? Okay, here it is. Sorry, hit the wrong one. Paper and pen. He can write, so he can say.
Oh, you can see the right place to do it,
Right,
sizing and all that.
and you
kind of
throw
stuff.
it up to the top, and now he can say it.
XCNDR.
But you can teach it to say his name. Right now, I didn't know what that word was, so it spelled it. But you would just go into pronunciation, and you would teach him how to say Xander.
Teach the app.
Teach the app. You would spell it out phonetically, like EXANDER.
Okay.
So now it will, every time it sees his name, it will say it like you told it to say it.
Oh, okay.
And that doesn't, it sounds a little bit complicated, but it's not.
Right, but once you get it set up, it's good.
Correct. So this would be my choice for him because he's right there with literacy. He's doing well, and you can see he's choosing to type. And I've got about 200 apps on there. I don't know what he's doing now. Okay, so I am going to show AsstExpress. This one is around the $20 mark, only to show you a way that we can help him kind of get over the echolalia. I had a little boy named Chris, very, very similar to Xander. Smiley, kind of wanted to say something to you, wanted to engage with you, but didn't really know the words. So I used this app because at the time I did not have Predictable. You can do this with Predictable, but I left these in here just so I can show everybody how cool this is. Using this feature, we can save phrases, just like the phrases I showed you in Predictable. So you
plus sign thing right there.
Yeah. So you write a phrase, save it, and then to get there, you touch this one. And this child's name was Chris. So I would go up to him and I would say this.
Hi, my name is Lois.
Hi, my name is Lois. And then I would prompt him to say this one. Actually, he wrote these all in, but I would just prompt him to touch it.
Hello, my name is Chris.
Hi, Chris. How are you? How old are you, Chris?
I am 12 years old.
You're 12 years old. What do you like doing, Chris?
I like swimming.
Great. Me too. What don't you like doing?
I don't like riding the bus.
Me either. Hey, Chris, what's your teacher's name?
My teacher's name is Mr. Ben.
Mr. Ben. Okay, now we've had a complete conversation. Scripted out. So the next time I go to do this with Chris, I just point. He says it. He doesn't have to listen to it again. I just say, hey, Chris, how are you? What's your name?
And then he will speak.
He'll
Hello,
speak
my name
that.
is Chris.
Correct. Or something very similar. And then the next time I go and do it, I don't even take my iPad.
Scripting out a conversation.
Scripting it out.
You know, just giving him practice saying.
Not what you're saying back.
Right.
And then you do a whole different conversation. Maybe you talk about a basketball game or something he went to do or the store. And by the third conversation, he's starting to improvise. He's realizing that he's not to say exactly what you say to him. He needs to say something else. So now he's working hard to come up with his own words.
Right.
And this worked like a charm for Chris. it was excellent because he is, again, very similar to Xander, where he wants to be social. And he comes up to you and he smiles, and you're like, I know you want to say something to me. So you got to give him things to say. And this helped reduce the echolalia, where me saying, okay, say your name is Chris. And then what would he say? Say your name is Chris. I was like, oh my God, forget it, I'm walking away right now. Because that just spirals down into frustration for both of us. This is AsstExpress. It's about a $20 app. You can do the exact same thing on those phrases that I was showing you in Predictable. Because any app that stores phrases is fantastic for those kinds of things. You can even do it with InnerVoice if you have the buttons already programmed. Then he's using video self-modeling to get those words out, or Shrek, or whoever he wants to be. So those are the text-to-speech, and that's kind of, I would make sure that whatever communication app he had, he also had an excellent text-to-speech. Click and Talk, I will show you Click and Talk because this is a fantastic, very inexpensive way. Click and Talk. It's just a talking photo album. They're a dime a dozen. You can get them anywhere. You can download them. Lots of times they're free on the internet. And basically wherever you go, the zoo, the park, the store, you just take lots of pictures. You come home and you put them in a talking photo album.
My name is Milo. Woof.
And you can say whatever you want.
So you basically just retell a story.
You retell the story. Or a cooking activity, or any activity that you may do. A task analysis even. Talk. Come on, Milo.
I want my toys.
Okay. They work really well, and our kids actually sometimes use these as AAC devices. Like if you went to the zoo and you particularly like the zebra, kids will look through these again and again and again, especially if they include family members or things that they really liked. And the next time he wants to go to the zoo, he's going to come to his talking photo album, find the zebra, and then come to you and say zebra.
Right.
So, again, it's not meant as an AAC device, but it gets used as one, and that's okay. They don't only have to use the one we give them. However, at that point in time, I would go to Predictable or whatever it is and put it in there and say, oh, you like zebras? Well, let's put this into Predictable, too. And here's how we do it. Sit down. I'm going to show you because you're going to do it next time.
Because does Predictable have the ability to take pictures and put it in?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Or if he has pictures already, to upload them from some other device.
Camera roll, or
okay.
You can send them to, you can email them to yourself, put them on your camera roll.
Okay. And then grab them from there. Okay.
Grab them from there. These are fast. They're fast and easy. There's not a whole lot of customization. You just get the pictures, plop them in, and type the sentence. Nice thing is initially you could just type like zebra, bear, lion. Once he gets those words down, you can put it in a short phrase. I like the zebra, or the zebra has stripes, the bear is brown, the lion scared me. Short phrase. And then you can expand upon those relatively easy, because talking photo albums are easy to customize. So you can take those and definitely expand on those. Show him how to do it. That's better. The less you can do and the more he can do, better off.
Gives him the ability to be independent.
Yes, absolutely. So anyway, we're going to definitely give him the ability to express himself in many forms. And that's okay if he expresses it on a talking photo album. We're just going to accept that and then show him how to put it into his communication app. And all these things, I know that our biggest, not complaint, but question is, oh my gosh, so if you let him talk here, won't he stop talking? And it's like, no way. This only promotes speech. We're never going to worry about all these things that talk for him to reduce his speech. It will only promote it, make it better, make him more confident. I don't know, Brenda, if you've seen that. I've seen it personally. At first, when I read it, I was like, oh, I don't know. I don't think I'd talk anymore. But yeah, you will.
Because it's easier.
It's easier.
Yeah,
It's
you always
easier.
do what's easier for you.
Right, right.
Eventually, once you learn how, it's easier not to have to use a device.
And then it's a race, and they try to beat it. I'll talk faster. Okay.
Just keep talking. Okay. Couple rules to remember: that if it's too complicated, the app that you give him and no one in his environment can program it. That's one problem we have with Predictable and Provoquo, is they get put on the devices and then no one knows how to customize it because they are complicated. They take manuals, there's tutorials, and people don't have time to watch them. So the exact same way that you hand a device off to somebody is the exact same way you see it the next year. Wasn't the right choice. It has to be simple enough, and it has to be encouraging for him. If he doesn't like it, it's not the right one. Don't give it to him, you know. That's why I have maybe AAC apps, I got maybe 10 to 20. I try them all. Again, if he doesn't like it or it's too complicated, we need to move on to something else. So I think he would like Predictable just because knowing what a little bit I know about him, the emojis and to be able to put your own pictures in there and those kind of fun things might hook him. We'll see. And it does build. It'll build his speech and his literacy at the same time. Couple that with with InnerVoice or a good talking photo album. He's going to be talking in no time. Okay, so we have been getting into this discussion about video modeling and video self-modeling and how do we use that to teach skills and how do we use it to teach speech. A lot of folks just take the iPad and start videoing, and then they edit the parts that they want out in like iMovie or something. Works fabulously. I think we just had a discussion with the godfather of video self-modeling last night, and the success stories are pretty phenomenal about video self-modeling, and it's almost instantaneous. And so I thought today I would just go over a couple apps that really help us out with video self-modeling. The first one I'm going to show you.
Are you guys familiar with that term, what it means?
Yeah,
I was on the Hangout last night watching Dr. Buggy.
Oh.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's...
that's how I met Lois, is that she was on an internet show about video self-modeling. I go, wow, that's pretty powerful. Got it.
It's very powerful. Now this one is more for mom and dad to use. It could also be used in classroom. Yeah. But basically it's a dad who saw his daughter watching the same movie over and over again. And he's scratching his head and he's like, okay, well, how can I capitalize on that? So what he did is he took the movie she's watching and every like 5 minutes he stops the movie and then implants this video modeling commercial of his daughter doing a behavior that he wants her to do, whatever the behavior is. In her case, it was asking for help. Instead of like ripping the book or throwing the papers down, she would raise her hand and ask for help. So he set up a situation that was very calm and prompted her through raising her hand and asking for help, and he videoed that. The second one was whenever her mom sang, she didn't like it, so she covered her ears and screamed. So the second one was to ask her mom to please quit singing rather than screaming. So I'm going to kind of show you how that works. Her name is Sarah. Whoops, that's not what we wanted. And I did it at 1 minute intervals. And I did it using that little cute Pixar movie, The Birds. Just because it was quicker, I didn't want to sit on the whole movie hearing. We all sit down.
You didn't want to sit on with your cars?
Okay. No. I already have a bunch of times. This one's called For the Birds. And he was so clever, he made it, and I'll show you when it gets there, where she has to hold her thumbs on it so that it will continue. So she can't just continue. I'll show you. We'll watch birds for a second.
Drinking too.
Oh.
No, why?
Oh. Okay, so there it is. Now the movie won't go on until she holds her fingers here and watches her video.
Oh, so you have to maintain.
You have to maintain. Okay. So.
Nobody's perfect. You live and you work it.
Oh, please do not sing.
Oh, all right, Sarah.
Now if she lets go, it stops. She has to watch the whole thing. So it's going to prompt her to do that. Okay, it was almost over anyhow. So then it goes on. So did you see how she asked her mom, please quit singing, and didn't?
Okay.
Yeah. So you can do that at home. I know one of his goals is to ask for help, so you can have him raise his hand, help me please.
He's been doing a better job at that.
Has he?
Yeah.
Whatever his...
We're not quite there yet, but he's been doing a better job.
Good.
He's seen that he gets what he's asking for by asking for help. He's stuck. He's like, oh, I can walk into where Dad's at and ask for help. And I immediately stop what I'm doing to avoid that. It's a big deal for him to do it.
It is a big deal. It's a big deal. So then you might step it up to the next thing you want him to learn. Tell you I need help with whatever the thing is, so that you know what it is.
Right.
I don't know. Have you guys seen this one?
I've seen pieces of it. I don't think I've seen the whole thing through.
It's so darn cute.
So how did he interject this into a Pixar movie? Took the whole movie and edited it?
Oh, there it is again. You have to load the movie onto the iPad, and your little video clips of Xander doing the things. And it might be a speech thing. It could be a behavior thing, whatever you wanted it to be. And you can add more than one video of him. It doesn't have to be the same thing over and over. And then you put it together onto this app. So you have the Reinforce It, which is the movie, and then the behaviors. And then you pick your interval. I picked 1 minute intervals, but you could pick 5 minute intervals, 10 minute intervals.
So as he's watching something, you just overlay this desired thing that you want him to work on.
Correct.
And you force him to have to do it.
Correct.
By
putting these.
And what is the app called?
TherAd. I think it's...
Is it one of those little blue writing things?
Yeah, it's this little purple one.
It's the purple one.
Yeah. So now he's got to hold his fingers here and watch the whole thing. And it looped around the singing one again. We didn't get to see her ask for help.
Oh, all right.
Okay, so that's just kind of an incidental one that you can. It's probably most beneficial for you at home if there's a movie he likes watching over and over and over again. I don't know, leisure time if he gets to watch movies.
Yeah, occasionally.
Yeah, then that would be something you can put in there. Has to be put in on iTunes because there's some glitch that it will not let you put it in on the app because you can't take like a Disney movie and put it in, import it into an app.
That's what I was going to say, copyright type.
Yeah, so you have to do it over here. You have to buy it, put it in.
You buy the movie? What do you buy and put where?
The movie.
Uh-huh.
Because you have to get it
you
somehow.
Have to get it
yes. And then you put it on iTunes, your iTunes account. And then from iTunes, you put it in TherAd. Okay. And there's a tutorial there.
So TherAd isn't placed over the movie on iTunes. No. The movie is brought into TherAd. Got it.
Brought into TherAd. And basically, TherAd's playing the movie and then stops the movie and then puts in your clip.
Okay. I thought that was kind of like a screen you put over the movie that it would interrupt the screen.
No,
How do you do that without getting sued by Pixar?
Yeah.
But that makes
Here we go.
sense.
Here's our asking for help. Okay.
Is she on the spectrum?
Oh, yeah. 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 A lot of these apps are made by parents who were like, how can I get my child to do this, this, or that? So that's a really good video self-modeling one. And if it's a behavior or something you want to teach just a little bit out of his stretch, but you think he can get there, have his brother do it, you know, and show him with his brother. Okay, so that's called TherAd. iMovie, it's free now on all your devices. So iMovie is probably the most fantastic video editor. So as you're videoing, like I know playing tetherball is one, you can videotape him playing tetherball with a friend maybe, and then all you have to do is splice it so all the parts where he gets hit in the head or misses the ball or whatever are maybe doesn't know what to do get spliced out, and all the parts where he's doing the right thing and playing with a friend get left in. So now he sees himself being successful, and that almost instantaneously promotes success, or at least it shows him what he needs to do.
Sure.
So in his case, he doesn't really play with anybody, so you can video him playing, video another kid playing, and bring them together, show him playing with another kid type of thing.
Right, right.
And
That's been used very successfully.
Maybe overlay the video of him asking somebody to play.
Yes, you start out with, will you play with me?
Right.
Or can we play tetherball? Or what do kids normally say? Will you play tetherball? Or let's play tetherball.
Play tetherball?
Yeah, yeah. Get him to say that, and maybe you have to prompt him with it written or however. As heavily as you need to prompt him, but get that one snippet. iMovie, cut it out till all you see is him saying, "Play tetherball with me," and then the kid's coming running over, and then you get a kid running over. Sure. Well, you can put the whole movie together. I'm serving. Yeah. Jalen.
I'll run. That's all right.
Jalen as the child running over.
Yeah, really.
I'm childlike.
We can even put it in slow motion for you.
Oh dear.
$6 Million Man.
Oh God.
Right.
Oh, bad enough running. Not even bad running slow-mo.
But you don't even have to have both kids in the frame at the same time. You get this kid hitting it, and then you flash to Xander hitting it. So he gets the idea that you need to take turns hitting it. And then maybe a clip where there are 2 kids hitting it. And then back to him hitting it and Xander hitting it. So you just be as creative as you want, and then he will learn, oh my gosh, I need to ask someone to play with me, stand there, and hit the ball to them and try to hit it back. iMovie's the best for that. And again, it's already there. It's already free on your iPads. Just download it. Another really cool one is called, free again, Ubersense. Okay. Now this one was made, it's loading. This one was made for folks to correct their golf swings. It's free.
I need that one, yeah.
Man.
Okay, come on.
There it is.
Okay, here we go. Hey, let's get Xander to do something. Hey, Xander. Hi. Can you wave again? How you doing?
Good.
Good. Okay, now we're going to let it render. We're going to watch this. Okay, so there he is. Now, what's cool about this is you can slow it down. So you can watch it or you can back it up. Okay. Or just let it play.
What did you do?
Big butt.
You like that?
So that's the way in other video stuff on you're at recording and doing something.
Correct.
So, so if he's working with Jalen and you're working on some key phrases or something like that, and he's really successful at it, and we capture it, then we have
You could actually get right into his face and do his mouth so he can watch. Or you can get someone like Dad to say the word correctly, get right there, and you can slow it down, speed it up. And it's free. I mean,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a really cool app, and
it's Ubersense.
Ubersense.
I just learned who Uber was the other day, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
I've never heard of Uber. I said, what's Uber? They're all like, you never heard of Uber? No.
My brother's a cab driver. I know all about Uber.
Okay.
They're bad.
We can actually, and I don't know because I've never done this, but you can split screen it here. And I'm not going to go through the techniques, go through it now while we're sitting here, and have the example, the great swing over here and your swing here. So you could have Dad or brother saying something here, Xander saying it here at the same time.
So he can see.
So he can see, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Oh, I'm pretty close. I'm getting there.
All right.
Slowing it down, speeding it up.
Gotcha.
Well, that's good.
Kind of fun.
And because Xander likes to talk really fast sometimes.
Yes.
Slowing it down.
Slow it down, Xander.
And he's starting to pick up on that, so I think that's definitely going to be something that we'll be able to capitalize on. That very simply, like, oh, too fast, and he can monitor himself.
Slow down.
Yeah, and this makes it so easy to do it. So easy to do it. Okay, and free. So if it doesn't work, just delete it.
Bye.
Free is good.
Free is always good. Okay, so we're going to go into...
So this is maybe a Laquita question, but maybe you guys know the answer to it. So are we able to buy an app to put on there? Because I know the district, I don't want to fight with them about $150. I would just pay $150 to get predictable on there instead of waiting. So can we do that?
I'm sure.
So like donate it to the district or something like that?
Yeah.
If you're sure.
I'm
Well,
pretty
so
certain.
I would think that you would have a couple of options.
Right.
As far as donating, that would probably be something that you can find out, like, hey, can we do this?
Right.
The other option would be, if it was on his iPad.
Yeah.
Like, I have a device that one of the other kiddos has. It's
It's
his. It's from his insurance.
Mhm.
It just happens to be here with me
Mhm.
because it's easier for him to be working here
Mhm.
than it is to,
Right.
do the back and forth. But I mean, as far as that goes, like,
Yeah, because this is his iPad with his
Yeah.
brothers, and he uses it all the time.
Yeah.
So I could put it on that.
What you could do is buy it, put it on there, come here, sign into your account,
Uh-huh.
download it, and then sign back out.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
now, because it's yours and he's using
That's
it
a
on
good call,
his
yeah.
device,
Yeah.
you could do it that way.
Okay. Okay.
The only thing is then if it gets
Updated.
updated, you have to come
Then you have to,
and re-update here too. It
Yeah,
doesn't
that's
update
fine.
automatically.
And these people are
Is that legal to do it that way?
Long user, same user
Is
ID.
it the
It's the
same-
same
Yeah.
user
Same
ID.
user
It's for
ID.
the same user?
This is great for like task analysis. This one's called Video Scheduler. I think it's the third one down. It's a task analysis. So all those old task analysis that we had, you probably have one somewhere where the pictures are static.
yeah.
We now have videos we can put in there. Because as you're reaching for the water, are you turning it on or are you turning it off? I don't know.
Right.
If you've got a video, you know exactly what's going on. The little girl who's doing this to her shoe. Is she tying it or untying it? I don't know. So some of those static pictures don't work really well. And I learned that when I was doing them with a child. The child rearranged them in a way that I was not supposed to be. And I rearranged them saying, no, it goes this way. And then it hit me the child was right and I was wrong. They're subjective. Sometimes you just don't know what's going on. But the video scheduler, and we're going to view Stephanie washing her hands. Come on, Stephanie. There's no doubt. Again, completely customizable. You can write whatever you want here. The steps, you can make them as long or as short as need be. I'm just going to show you the steps here. Turn on the water and wet your hands. So there's no doubt what she's doing. She's actually turning on the water, wetting her hands. Step 2, she's getting some soap. These are super easy to do too, not hard at all. This does not take a learning curve. And so on and so forth until finally she dries her hands.
That's actually pretty cool because then
Isn't that
if you're
cool?
trying to work at home, I can imagine at school would work, or you're trying to work on a morning routine, you're trying to work on
Right.
you first come into the class, you put, I mean, Xander does it now, but there's probably parts of his day or even other students' day that you could say, oh, I'm having a problem with this kid during this time. Show him the right way to do it.
Right.
And here's the steps, because these
Here's
kids, our kids love these
They
schedules.
do love these schedules.
They like to know what's
Absolutely,
next.
they need to know what's next, and it can be modified quite easily. So this has become
you,
one
like,
of my favorites.
Can you like move this one up here?
When I go into editing, I'm not in editing right now. I'm in play.
Because when
But
we were doing the ABA, that's sort of what they were doing, is that they were listing out all the tasks that are part of brushing your teeth. Well, you got to turn on the water, you got to put the toothpaste in, you got to do that, you got to brush your teeth. And this is good because it's video.
Oops. Yeah.
Task analysis is trippy.
Right.
So you never think about all the parts. And
That
you're
are all
like, what
part-
did I just do?
So see here, we're in editing. I can take this one, put it up here, right here. I can move them around.
And you can add another one by putting it
can
there
add-
and then put it in there.
Correct.
So,
Correct. So you can
your first one might be 2 or 3 big steps.
Yes.
But as it gets
Go
better, you
upstairs.
can do 15 steps that break down
Right.
each piece.
Or quite the opposite.
Right.
Maybe
Start
he
with
needs
really
more
tiny
support.
steps.
Okay,
And
clean
then-
your room means pick up your
Right.
shoes, make your bed, clothes, and then you just take those steps out. Now it's just go clean your room. Because
Right.
many of our kids don't know what you mean when you say clean your room.
Right.
You know,
What
I
does that
found
mean?
my son would go up and wander around for hours. Okay. He really thought he cleaned his room, you know. It's like, no, I had to write these steps down. So this is really good. And then you can take them away there.
How much does this have?
It's around the 14,
That's inexpensive.
9 or 14. Oh yeah, like I say, by the time you get done with lamination and copying, it's
Yeah.
about the same price. And this is a good company. Predictable is a good company. These companies aren't going away. They're not going to say "C'est la vie" and leave you with an app that won't run on iOS 9 next year.
So I remember
and
Amber was
updating.
going to put together some scheduling.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
So we could
She was
use some of
gonna do
this.
some-
You know,
She was, yeah.
she's gone now,
She's
right?
gone. Yeah.
But there's hours available for someone in there to.
He can have this right on his iPad, and he can refer to it because if you see, let's go back to view schedules. Well, this is Stephanie's schedule, and she only has washing her hands. She could have like 5 different things down here, like going to lunch or going to whatever the day is, driving the car.
And that's a video of that actually happening.
Videos. And you
But
didn't hear it.
probably after a while they wouldn't need the video.
Correct.
They
Yes.
just need the steps.
You just
there.
reduce the prompts more and more until now they know.
Right.
Get up, Xander, get ready for school. He knows that means clean his room,
Right.
brush his teeth, get dressed, get into breakfast, finish his homework, whatever he does.
Yes, yes. And then you didn't do step 3. Go do it. You know, go back and redo step 3.
Right.
So these are really good, and you can again put as many as you want in there, as many steps as you want. And this company's a good company, not going anywhere.
I like that
And
one.
I had something else to say, and it just left me. Sorry. No, don't have it. I was
Once it's
searching.
gone, it's gone.
I was searching. I was.
It'll
I was
come back to
searching.
you in the middle of your next.
Oh man.
Jalen, that's for you because you're much younger than us. But
Yeah.
for me, my age, it's gone, it's
No.
gone.
Well, it's gone, okay? It ain't coming back. Maybe it was washing the hands. No. Okay. There's also audio in here. You didn't get to hear it very well because it's not turned up that loud, but there is audio, so you can say the words here. So now they get to see it, hear it, say it, watch it being done. Oh, I know what I want to say. Just the act of going and doing that and making these short videos, putting them in here because he's always going to be here, cements the activity. I mean, you're already a step ahead. He's already made it, created it, put it down here. Oh my gosh, it's not like you going to the back room, creating these wonderful schedule, coming and saying, okay, this is what you're doing. He's part of it. You know, he is the actor. He's the star. So I found that really boosts you. It helps so much. So
And is that,
that's what I wanted to say.
okay.
It did come up.
And that's
Yes.
important. That background minor thing, that's the standard background, or can you change the
I
background?
don't know. I don't think I've ever looked at that, but we can go back to create schedule,
One
share
wood
schedule.
doesn't do anything for you.
Well, I know it's pretty, but I'm thinking if there's
Just
some
'cause
kids
one-
would be more
It
interested in
doesn't
other
look like
kind
you
of
I
can.
think they use it because like we would put their schedule on their desk, so it looks like a desk.
Yeah.
from before my time.
No.
You can add a shared schedule, huh?
Yes. Yeah. So you can make
So the classroom
schedules
is the whole
and
class.
share them with the whole class.
Can you, I mean, I know this is more than an example, but could Jim create a schedule for all the students in the class?
Absolutely.
Just using one thing.
Absolutely. I think at that point you
So
need
these
to build
kids
an
on a
account.
doing different things, possibly,
Yeah.
or different
What they do is
reinforcement.
they have like a bank of schedules other folks have made. And you make an account, you go into that bank, you can add schedules, take someone else's schedule. It's kind of like a smart whiteboard.
Yeah.
Is that what they're called?
And
Smart
for
board.
15 bucks,
Smart
that's,
board,
that's,
yeah.
that's pretty
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah. Like I say, it's a workbook, it's a stack of flashcards. What happens to workbooks and flashcards?
Yeah, they get worn out.
Yeah,
tossed out
these
lost.
things last
Yeah.
forever.
And they're nice and shiny.
Yeah, and they're updated frequently. The developers are always adding new cool things. So write them and tell them. That wood background just doesn't get it for my kids.
Yeah.
I guarantee you they'll be working to change it because
yeah,
they're all
sure.
wanting to help us. A lot of these people are parents or folks in other industries who have come over and said, oh, I got an idea, I'm going to make it. But they don't really know what we deal with on a daily basis. So if you write them and just say, the wood, can we get some plain backgrounds because it's distracting. Oh, yeah, good, yay. So anyway,
And that one was called what again?
video scheduler. There's a My Video Schedule and a video scheduler. And they're right. The video scheduler and this one are very similar. I use the top one more. It's easier for me. And it's a lot cleaner. The other one is a little harder to manage, and I don't think they've kept up with it because it's still running on iOS 7. teachers, so yeah, I would use this one. These guys are keeping up. Articulation. So there is a whole group of apps we can go into for articulation that lets you focus on very specific sounds. I don't know if you have any articulation apps. Jalen, you do?
Multiple.
Oh, okay.
Between all of the iPads, yeah.
Okay. They're not horribly motivating. I can't see him doing one at home. Have you had that success? I mean, it's something that he needs to do with Jalen for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Because, again, they'll just go over words on his sounds like an L, and they'll go over lots of L words. The most motivating part is you can record a lot of them, and then he can play them back for himself.
Which isn't that motivating.
Yeah.
For a lot of kids.
Yeah. But it's not one he's going to grab and say, woohoo!
He seems to like more of the like in context, like, you know, like writing sentences on my story and, you know.
Right.
Where there's more to it than just the
word, naming flashcards.
The drill and fill kind of thing.
Right,
I think there's just a stress factor that we would all feel to that kind of dynamic.
Right. So those are all there. If you ever did want to, I'm pretty sure you probably have one of those.
I have the first 3, but I really hardly ever use them.
Yeah, me either. Again, just wanted you to know those were there. Okay, language. Love these language apps, and I have a killer one that I think Alexander would absolutely love. It's called First Phrases. And
He's got first nouns too.
Yep.
Welcome
that
to
one doesn't
First
talk
Phrases.
though.
No.
I don't like that one. There's no voice to it, so he has no. He needs the whole thing. He needs to hear it, see it, experience it. So first nouns is okay, but it's more flashcards, right? Yeah. This is so cool. Settings, and it records your data, so you can bump them up levels. I think this one's set at the first level. Anyway, I'm
Tell
gonna go
the
through
girl what to do.
Okay, so we're going to tell the girl what to do.
Turn off the light. Sure, I can turn off the light.
But I do want to go over guided access. Do you know guided access? So you just hit guided access and you turn it on. Okay, now you got to set a passcode. 2 rules for setting passcodes. 1, make it simple. Number 2, never let your child see you do the passcode.
Oh, I have a couple.
Oh my gosh. I always go with 1111, but I never let them see me do that. They will learn it. I guarantee you they will, and he'll be breaking your passcode every time you turn around.
That's when you change it to 222.
Right, exactly.
And then they'll learn that pattern. And, they'll be
And then
like,
you go back to 111 and mess with their minds.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Then you have them start predicting, well, what do you think this
Right.
Jalen's going to do today?
All ones.
So now we're working on some prediction skills. Okay, so I turned it on. I set the passcode, and now it's ready to go. Super easy. So let's just say it's math time. You don't want them playing around, but you do want them to have access to their communication app. So we're going to turn on, let's just turn on InnerVoice. It's right there. Okay, we want them to still be able to talk and communicate. So we are going to lock him into this by tapping the home button 3 times quickly.
I was
Tap,
saying
tap,
that's
tap,
where you have to
3 times.
triple click and then put it. Yeah, we do it.
Do you do it?
Yeah, we lock them into apps. Only the ones who have a tendency to get out of their apps.
Yeah.
Because some like Alexander would stay in there. You know,
He would.
but
He would.
I have some that.
Right.
And we have a couple that would spend that choice time trying to
break your code.
crack your
Yeah.
passcode.
And that's
Go to
okay.
settings and do all
Whole
kinds
time
of
like,
cool
you go
things.
ahead and get locked out of the iPad. That's fine.
And you can set that for a time, like
You can set it for time. We're in it now.
uh-huh.
We're in guided access, and so if he hits this button, he can't go anywhere. He's locked in.
Just triple click and then put your password.
Right, so you triple click to, and you
then
put your password in.
and then it'll go out.
Now at this point, you can either end it or you can pick some time limit. this is super cool. Like, if you're in math and maybe you want him on a math app, or any of your kids on a math app for 30 minutes. We're doing math for 30 minutes. You can use your app, your calculator. It could be a calculator, whatever it is. And you can use your iPads 30 minutes. So you set it. I'm going to set it for 1 minute. You can also kill some keys here. Like, for whatever reason, I do not want you, touching the cue. So I'm going to kill that, okay? And now I'm going to resume my guided access. So now my cue's dead. I killed the cue, and I started my timer for 1 minute.
Cue is very bad.
Yes.
But it was on a program that like did a sound effect or something, and you didn't want it to do the sound
Or
effect.
Cheetos. You had Cheetos up there, and you didn't want them asked. It's not time to ask for Cheetos. It's not snack time. And you knew you were going to hear Cheeto, 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 Cheeto. So it gives you the option. We're going to let this timer click down, because another cool thing to do is you set your timer for 1 minute. Every time the minute's up, he has to come to you so you can put the code in. So you're forcing communication. He needs to come to you to put the code in, and you can say at that point in time, you got the power.
Right.
You know, what do you want, Xander? Tell me. Why don't you go ahead and recite those ABCs for me? you know, and
Extortion.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So
you want my passcode?
Yeah.
That's it. It works really well. You're setting up situations where he needs to come and talk to you. And then maybe you said it, leave the room. Now he's got to come and find you. And, you know, you can always pretend like you don't hear him. What? What? You know? So you pretty much got him in the palm of your hand. He needs you to talk to him, and he needs to do whatever you say. So to get out, triple click. Add your passcode. And just hit end. You've ended guided access. That's a kind of a cruel thing to do. You set them in their favorite app with a 1 minute timer on it. But it's very effective, especially if you really want lots of instances where they're asking you for help. Because if that's a goal, we have to wait till it naturally occurs and we can see he needs help, and then we go and prompt him. But you can force that.
Yeah.
You can force that help thing.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
that's true. You can if he's like playing Pac-Man, you know, he's gonna be playing a half hour.
Right.
And then I can just force that in every 3 minutes. I need help. I need help. I need help.
Yes. Right. And you say, well,
So
I need you to
irritating.
take a bite of broccoli.
Yeah, really.
Eat your veggies.
Xander eats.
Does he eat everything? Oh, good for him.
Or if you want him to learn to express their frustration appropriately.
Yeah.
If you do it every minute and he has to come to you, I'm very frustrated. Instead of throwing it on the ground.
Or you can force a yes. Do you want me to put in the passcode?
Yes.
No, you can force a yes.
Right.
Okay. Do you know the passcode? Now you're forcing a no.
Right.
You know, and you just sit there until he gets. You know, you can prompt him. He's not a sign language guy though. Well, then he'll need write it down on a piece of paper. No. Okay, so that's guided access. You can use it for more than it was made for. Off-the-shelf uses. Some other great language apps are the Mobile Education Store. Any of their apps are made for older kids. Again, it's a dad who had an older daughter on the spectrum and realized there's nothing for older kids on the spectrum. So he created this group of apps. And again, there's one called Tense Builder. That'd be fabulous for him. I'm going to show you Sentence Builder. Sentence Builder or Language Builder. He's now changed it to iLanguage.
Welcome back to Language Builder.
So let's put in our name. Whoops. Did that wrong, didn't I? Create. And then down here, whoops, we're sideways, dang it. You're going to say play.
Make a sentence about the picture.
Okay, it's not going to do it. So we're going to press hint right here. And it's going to say the boy is blank a tall building with. So they're basically just close activities. And then he can record it. The boy is creating a tall building with blocks. Stop. Play the recording. The boy is creating a tall building with blocks. Okay? If you get a really cool one, you can archive it, send it off to Dad, and say, oh my God, he said that so well today. I want you to hear it. 5 levels of difficulty, so he can start out at the lowest level, build, build, build.
What level would this be?
I believe we are on, 3 levels, sorry, level 1. Then you just go to the next image.
Make a sentence about the picture.
If they don't like it, some of my kids don't like all these pictures, we just skip.
Make a sentence
But they have to
about
tell
the
me they want to
picture.
skip. So now I'm also teaching them skip, what skip means. So we skip
Make a
in,
sentence about
I'll
the
say
picture.
that one, and usually when I'm doing this, I try to keep it a little out of reach so I can force a lot more language. You want that one? So yes or no's are in there. Then you get the hint, and you record. The boys are playing Pirate at the Park. Stop, and then play it. The boys are playing Pirate at the Park. It's also a good one for a group around the table. They each get to do it and record it.
That's something you could practice. Like, what are you going to say before the actual?
Oh yeah,
record it?
yes. We go over it several times, and again, this is one that I also write down. If the child can write one word, I write all the other words. They write the last word. So now we have a whole log of everything they can say, and I keep spiral binders, and I either send it home or keep one. I'll send every other one home, and maybe we'll review what we did yesterday before we start today, depending on how they come in. It just builds so much language, and with the picture there, it's really nice. Very good one. Again, pretty similar for all these mobile education stores. I'm going to show one more for mobile education because I think he would do real well. It's called Rainbow Sentences. I think all the kids in your class, Jim, would do really well.
Sentences.
Let's turn this up.
It's still mobile education.
Still mobile education.
It's rainbow.
Rainbow sentences. Here's my settings. 3 levels. I don't know why I thought this one had.
Can you turn it sideways, or is it not going to change?
No, sorry. So we're going to hit play.
Drag the words to make a sentence.
Now you can see they're color-coded. You drag the blue to the blue and the red to the red, so you got
The boy
subject
is throwing.
and predicate. And then you say, okay, I'm done.
That's right. The correct sentence for this picture is, the boy is throwing. Now let's record the sentence.
And then they record it. The boy is throwing. Stop. Right. The boy is throwing. And then again, it was really cool. One of the best productions you've heard. You can send it home. Oh my God, listen to what he said today. This is so cool. And then go to the next sentence.
Drag the words to
And it
make a
doesn't take,
sentence.
believe me, it doesn't take long for the kids to get this. There's time. I just sit down and say, we're going to do 10 of these. Hit play. Let's go. You know. And after you get done teaching
The shoes are dancing.
these words down here, play, and I'm done, then you can just sit back and say, okay, hit I'm done. And just try to keep your hands down, and they get it so quickly. Okay, get the hands. It's time to record. And the recording part is truthfully the part that really drives them to these. Love them. One thing, though, is if you can see, when his teddy bear wears shoes, oh my gosh, it's kind of hard. I think Xander could probably use this. I think he has probably enough language and cognition to know that that's just a silly picture. But some of the lower kids are like, what's going on there? You know, that's not reality. Yeah. So you got to kind of pick and choose who you can use this one with. I think he'll be fine. He's got a great sense of humor. He already knows humor. There's children who don't know humor yet.
Everything's super low.
Yes. So it's just not good for them.
What was the previous one, Lois? The one that wouldn't go vertical?
Oh, that was
that
called
Tense
iLanguage, Language Builder, but it's very similar to Tense Builder. They all run sort of similar, where you can record, do sentences, have 3 levels, and send your really cool productions home. or vice versa. Like, listen to what he said today. Oh my God.
Yeah, that would be good.
Okay, so I really want to, I know I showed Jalen the open-ended book, and I used my story, but let's just skip a page here where we go to book creation apps. There's 4 there. The top two are really easy to do. You can create your book, you can store it on your iBookshelf, and it can be anything you want it to be. You can store in pictures and videos. The third one down is $20. Hugely customizable. You can make a beautiful book. And with transitions and all kinds of fun things. And then the last one, Bookabye, actually has little characters. You can make your book and drag people into it and make little stories and things like that. But I'm going to show my story. Let's see if I can get it sideways for us.
There we go.
And just how simple this is.
Drawing the pages. That's cool.
Correct. So we're going to add
Something like that. That's good.
Alexander. We're going to put his little picture in there from camera roll.
His
And
favorite part is listening to the recorded and deciding if it's good enough.
yes,
So
that's
we want to keep that one.
fabulous. So now we are going to create his book, and we're going to go into Alexander. We're going to add a book. Let's just pick basketball.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it is.
It's a safe bet. It's okay with
Basketball.
basketball.
And he gets to choose colors, and again, he not only gets to touch it, but if you're far enough away, he has to say it so you can touch it. I think he liked blue or green is what, and then you're going to create it. So here's your first page, completely blank. This little icon here, and believe me, it took only about 4 or 5 pages before he was doing it himself. You can add a picture or video, you can take a picture, and you can write, and you can add stickers, okay? So we're going to pick a sticker that kind of looks like a basketball. I know it's not. But at this point in time, you can size it. And we're going to add a picture from the camera roll. We're going to go and we're going to pick him. And we're going to shorten it and put it over here. Okay, so you can see I just drew on it. He can pick a color, and he can write his name. He can draw whatever he wants. So you can import pictures or videos, short videos. You can put stickers on. You can write on it. You can even...
I was going to ask.
Yeah.
Type. That's
And
cool.
now he types his sentence.
Nice.
I like basketball. There we go. We can use word prediction. We're going to make sure he gets a period there. Done. And then we're going to have him record it. So he's going to say, I like basketball. And there's his page 1. Whoops, let's put this somewhere. Okay. He's created his first page. So now you go and you make your second page. Another blank page. So now he can say details. Well, what do you like about basketball? I like that it bounces. Okay, so you'd go through the whole thing. Maybe have a video of him bouncing. And then he can write another sentence. You can put as many pages as you want on here. And when it's done, you can share the story. Swipe right with 2 fingers. They want to make sure you're an adult. You want to share it as a book.
If you share it as a movie, what is it?
Then you don't turn the pages. It just plays for you.
Slideshow.
Right. Now here you can put it onto iBooks, send it home, send it in a message. We're going to open it in iBooks, and it's going to go right on his bookshelf.
It's really cool.
And there's his book. Okay, right there.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a library with everyone else's book. So now the next day he can come in, and you've been doing it with his target words, putting his target words in there, and My gosh,
you
can
do
put,
social stories.
you can put anything
Sure.
in there. They're just so open-ended. And again, you can implant videos too. It does not have to be static pictures. And that's what I thought was really cool. So if you're going to say things Xander likes doing, and running's one of them, short clip of him running.
I was just thinking it would be fun to do one for basketball. You know, I like throwing, I like bouncing.
Yes,
and,
yes.
you know, do the different parts of it. So it's not long, but it's fun, and you know, something to talk about.
Right, right. And he can even do an emotion book. So he can go around and, okay, you're sad, woo-hoo, do that, and you're happy, and you're angry, you know, and make a book only about emotions. So these are so flexible. I use them extensively for my kids. Even as I did one for a boy who was going to the airport. Oh my God, that's horrific for our kids. They don't know what to expect. So we created this book. We went to Google Images. We picked our own images out where people were standing in line, you know, and then we had them standing in line again and standing in line again. And the part that I think scares our kid is they have to take their shoes off and put them in this big tunnel. So we did that. There was people taking their shoes off, and luckily I found a picture of Batman who was standing in line taking his shoes off.
Nice.
So here's Batman.
That's awesome.
And then they have to go through the detector and whatever they have to do. And then you get your shoes back. That's what they don't know. You get to put your shoes back on.
Yeah.
Okay, now you got to go wait some more. You know? That was all done in one of these
But
books.
if Batman can do it, you'll be okay.
Yes!
That's right.
Batman made it. You're going to be fine. It's all good. It's all good. So I wanted to make sure I got through the open-ended book apps. There's more than one. This is one of my favorites, only because I know it really well, but Book Creator is just as good. Do you have any favorites, Brenda?
Nope. There's something that I use. I don't remember what it's called, though. But I've only used it with TherAd kids. I've never used it with.
Yeah, Pitello, again, makes beautiful ones. Lots of great transitions. You can make them really pretty and very nice.
That's the expensive one.
That's the expensive one. Yeah. And I know we got a couple more minutes. Good. We got about 20 more minutes. I wanted to talk a little bit about, I know he's working on typing. And he's already using the app that I was going to mention for typing. You have to write this one in because it's a brand new one. I don't know how he found it. He must have known. You must have known, Alexander, that I was going to talk about this app today, huh? It's called yeah. Interactive Alphabet. Is this the one? Yeah. Again, it's a little bit
Interactive Alphabet.
young for him. There's not a lot of typing apps out there for our kids, or for any kids in general. So you can see it's got the ABCs. You can explore the ABCs. You can sing the ABCs, but this is the part here. You hear that? That's truly cool. So now it's got a whole bunch of preloaded words, and let's do let's make it simple and do ant.
Ant. Type the word ant.
Okay, so now if I mess up, it's not going to do anything, but pretty soon it's going to prompt me to get the A.
A. N. T. You type ant. Choose a sticker.
So now you choose a sticker. Most of my kids don't like to choose stickers. They just choose to go to the grid again. Nice thing about this is we can turn that music off. Oh, there you go. You can put in whatever picture you want. You can put in Xander. You can put in Mom, Dad. You can put in chair. You don't have to use these pictures. Bad thing about it is you cannot take these pictures away. So he will be learning Fox and Fan and
You're
Hop.
just hitting the plus sign right there that you can add something new.
You can add something new. It's really easy. We don't need that. So we're going to add, let's add Xander.
Oh, and we can take a picture.
Yeah. So we're going to allow. And we're going to take this really great picture. And we're going to type. Whoops, you got 2 R's in your name.
What?
It's conked out. I said
Alexander.
Yes, it's so good.
Yeah.
I said it.
That's you. Who is that?
It's me.
But me.
Yeah.
That is you.
It's not me.
Look it. There you are. Yeah. Try again. Type the word Xander. There you go.
X Z A N D E R.
Good job.
You
Awesome.
type.
Right on.
Choose a sticker.
Good job.
Good job, Betty.
Okay, but you see how his picture is just put amongst? That's, can't get rid of those. But he can still add as many as he wants. So he can get all his family, all his friends.
Does it mix them up, or
It
does it
mixes
always
them
add
up.
them at the end? Oh,
Alphabetical.
It's alphabetical. Yeah, it looks like it's all alphabetical.
Yeah.
so I was gonna say,
But you can't get rid of all those
target
ones.
words.
You can get rid of them. And this is the one you have. What'd you say it was? Nouns?
First nouns.
First nouns?
Uh-huh.
Has a typing element, but it doesn't have the vocal element. It doesn't, I mean, it's great that you're typing, but it doesn't really show you what you're typing or reinforce it with the sounds.
Right, that's true.
So this one is,
But he's increased the spelling a lot with that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He's a good speller. He's a great speller. Now, touch right. I choose this one. This is a great one because we don't want to give up on his writing at all.
Touch and write.
You can make his own list. So we can add a new list and we can call it Xan. Why am I going slow? And let's just put in the word yes and no. You can put any words you want. And we're going to add this list here, and there's his list. And that's why I choose this one. I love it. It has core words. It has ABCs, 1, 2, 3s. But I really like choosing my own list that fits the child to a T. You can put in the words you're working on, the targets. So we're going to write. And here's the Y. And it's sensory. So you hear it, you see it, you create it, and then you hear the reinforcement. But here's the fun part, is they get to write in whatever they want to write in. You know, so now you're teaching a little bit of
And yet the
language.
fingers don't get dirty.
Yeah, really.
Right. So now
And the
let's
class
see.
doesn't get dirty.
Yeah.
We can write with red paint, not actually play with it.
Who wouldn't want to write a report with chocolate pudding? So now you got chocolate pudding.
That's a good OT. Yeah.
Excellent OT, but it's also literacy,
Yeah.
because you're teaching real words. And it's language. And then it reinforces what you just wrote. Twice, it's going to reinforce it again. Okay, now you go to the next word. You can also change background. Again, here's one of those places where you're not going to just have them reach out and touch. You're going to keep it out of reach. What do you want? And then we know he may not have all the words, so you go through them. Do you want the corn, the gray felt, or the rocks, the raisins, whatever they are? And keep it
Yeah,
out
I
of
had to
reach.
take a look like, what?
Yeah.
Split
He'll know. Okay, so again, keep it out of reach, or let's just go back to plain paper. Initially, your kids are not going to know all those words, but they will. You just keep using them, and they just keep coming up, and then you say, let's change paper. What do you want to change it to? They're already there. I want the zebra stripes. Okay, let's go get them. So that one's a really good one. Same with, write my name. Write my name. Yeah. Write my name.
Write my name.
Name tags, ABCs, but write my name actually goes into some core words that they write. Very nice. A little bit different. Sounds like you're writing with fairy dust.
N.
Correct. Now at this point in time, we'd be writing this down on a flashcard. So they're not only writing it here, they're writing it on flashcards, which we review every single time. So now they're using words, and then we expand it in the box. Write down the next time in the box. Then go to the next one, me. Kind of fun. Everyone loves, God, I get kids who actually run down to my office to do these.
What is this called?
Write my name. So they're running down to do these. They're not running down to eat my candy. They're not running down to get my chips and Skittles. They're running down to work. That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. The next one, I actually want to go over to emotions. How's the identifying emotions? Okay. This is the best app for emotions. It's quite simple, but it works so well. It's called Smarty Pants. Okay, so basically you're going to pick an avatar that looks similar or whoever they want, and let's pick angry. You got this little boy. Best done in a group, because then as you're sitting in the group, you all go, angry, and then you might pick, let's do sad. I love this one. And they go, sad, and then tired. Tired's always a good one. And we yawn and stretch. The thing is just because they just because we do that doesn't mean they actually know what it means. They're just pretending. So our job as their educators is when we see him sad, we go up to him and say, oh my God, that's sad. You remember? And they look at you, and then they start doing it. So now you've connected what they've already learned to the label. Now they know what sad means. Oh my God, you're tired. That's tired. You're tired. Remember we did that? And now they got it. Now they have it. They learned how to label their emotions and the emotions of others. This is the best app for that. Other than that, you're looking at flashcards. And I've actually had kids, and this is way back when I didn't understand that our kids look at different things. I had a kid who was smiling. I had the flashcard of this smiling little boy. And my guy was saying, bleh. Like, bleh. What's bleh? Happy. It's happy. The boy's happy. He's smiling. And then later on, I figured out he's looking at his tongue. He's trying to tell me tongue. I was looking at his expression, and the boy was focusing on his tongue. So essentially, I taught him that his tongue was labeled happy. I taught him wrong. And I'm like, oh my God, no wonder he's going to regress. I wrote down he knew what happy was because he labeled it happy. He was labeling his tongue. So that was a huge lesson for me, and I did go back and reteach him what happy really was. But I think we do that quite often, especially with flashcards as they're running. You know, here's this picture. Well, what are they looking at? A lot of times they're looking at the hair or the shoes. I find my kids looking at the shoes a lot. So we're trying to get that they're running because it's obvious to us. And they're focusing on the shoes, quite possibly the shoelaces.
Or the shadow. I have kids who look at their shadow.
Yes, the shadow. I think I got a picture of that. It's amazing. So we're actually teaching them the wrong words at that point in time, and that's completely our fault. This was one of my running pictures. And this is, again, this is one of those aha moments. So I'm teaching running using this picture. You know what my kids are looking at? What he has in his hand. They want to know what he has in his hand. They went straight there. And I'm like, running, he's running. They're like, what's in his hand? So we just have to be careful. And that's why those little animations really help with concepts. WordTube, the one I showed you at the very beginning, if you're going to teach verbs and concepts, that's like the only way to do it. These flashcards for our kids on the spectrum especially, you know, they don't get it. Oh, there's a little guy with a tongue. He's looking at his tongue, you know. I'm like, he's happy. Isn't that obvious? He's happy. And he's like, oh my God, what's his tongue doing?
What's his tongue got to do with happy?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you are kind of drawn into the hole there.
Exactly.
Aren't you?
Yeah.
And especially if you were on the spectrum, you're really drawn into
Yeah,
that.
sure.
What's that?
You got
What's
that
going on?
You could be looking at the
With slats
fence
together.
post or bamboo or whatever's
Correct.
behind him, and whatever catches your eye.
Exactly,
That's
and
your
we're
focus.
not sure what they're looking at. They look at things different than us. I had a doctor tell me that we look at things right in front of us, our foreground. And we don't pay a lot of attention to the background unless our eyes are drawn there. They're quite the opposite. They're always back there. And unless their eyes are drawn here. So they could quite possibly be looking behind. So we just need to
What's
always...
that behind the fence?
Yeah.
Closely
What
with
is
the
that? Oh
dogs.
my God.
Totally see that.
Is that a dog? Yeah.
Right.
And I'm like, happy. That's happy. Yeah. So that's why I use, even though the Smarty Pants app can be, you know, they're all cartoons and they're a little bit silly, they work. And then you just attach those labels to those feelings as you see them during the day. Temple Grandin says to write it down and show them when they're sad. That's sad. Same kind of thing. And for him, especially writing it down because he is connected into the word. That is such a good thing. And I think there was some more back here. How many more? Oh, God, we're quite done. Okay. The literacy ones to really look at, they're super easy, and a lot of them are free, are the little speller, little reader, and sentence maker, because I'm just going to show you real quick what a little speller looks like. Little speller. I think I showed this one to you, Jalen.
Tray.
Okay. So this is kind of like an electronic flashcard.
R-T-T-Y-A. You did it. You spelled the word tray. T-R-A-Y. Nose.
Okay, now you put your own in here. So you can have him go around and take pictures again of all the things in his environment, all his friends, put them in here. This comes with an extensive list of things to spell, but you don't have to use it. You can start with his things first and then move off to, because again, this is nose and it's pointing to nose. He just may see the arrow. You know, or the lips, or not really understand that when there's an arrow pointing at the nose, that's what you're speaking about. He may or may not. So we're going to, come on, Xander, let's take pictures of people's noses. Let's get their nose, and you take some noses, and you put them in there, and you write the word nose. Now he knows what a nose is. So this is the new version of our flashcards. They're electronic. I wouldn't do verbs here. And then the other one, the sentence maker, I'm not going to go into it, but you take these same pictures of the noses we just took, you put them into sentences, and now you're spelling, this is my nose. You're creating sentences and phrases off of the same pictures that he took. And that just helps, again, put language structure into his head. So there's so much there.
Yeah.
Sorry if I overwhelmed, but
no, it's great. And thank you for
have all my
putting all
information here, so if anyone needs to call and